guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe. Check out the links in the description and leave a thumbs up for this video. And you can check out the channel for other, stuff you may have missed. It's been a while since I uploaded a video. My last one was the non-spoiler review for Zack Snyder's Justice League. I've kind of just been enjoying it this time that we have, now that it's finally out, watching it, all of that. But I do hope to do a spoiler review, like as a live stream very soon. So stay tuned for that. Hope to be doing that very soon. Today, though, fans are a little upset because of what Ann Sarnoff, CEO, I don't know why this article says Warner Media Studios CEO. I thought she was WB CEO, but regardless, she's a CEO. So you recognize her name. She took over for Kevin Tsujihara. She's kind of discussing the DC's future now that Zack Snyder's Justice League is out, and fans are not very happy about what she has to say. It's kind of a long article. I don't necessarily want to read the whole thing, but it's kind of hard not to, if I want to talk about this, what she's talking about, give the sense of what is going on now that the movie is out. Because a lot of us are kind of like, well, how could they, it's a no-brainer. How could they not continue with what he has started, even if that means his stuff is separate from, the theatrical stuff or whatever. That's my hope. That's what I would like to happen. I would like to have his stuff be on HBO Max for the most part, or at least do some series on HBO Max for his Snyderverse, or, I would be happy with that. I just want more of what he has. But, he has made it pretty obvious in pretty much all of these interviews he's been doing to promote the movie, Zach, he's been saying like, they don't want to continue with me. Warner Brothers, and I'm thinking like he wants to put that out there because he wants fans to know the truth. And I don't think he wants us to get our hopes up. He appreciates and loves our support. Of course, he always says like, I never even thought this would happen, so who knows what could happen going forward. But and Sarnoff now is saying like, she's asked how did they decide to release it, and she says they wanted to give Zack the opportunity to complete his vision in a 4-hour movie, which is impossible to do in theaters. I don't really agree that it's impossible. It's not common. Doesn't mean it's impossible, especially right now with theaters having like pretty much nothing, hardly anything to put, to bring a lot of people in. But regardless, she says that they're happy that they have HBO Max to let that happen, to let us see his whole vision. Now, regarding plans moving forward, she says they have an incredible group of creators, television series creators, Max series creators, feature film creators, who are basically broadening the base of the talent that we work with on DC, because we're excited about the potential to build out the DC multiverse. It's one of the reasons why I was hired almost 2 years ago. The before and after was, it was a very siloed organization with no connectivity between the businesses. DC was being developed, but in a kind of monolithic way in each division. My mantra coming in was to make it bigger, broader. We really wanted to surprise and delight the fans with more connective tissue across the various media and platforms. So she's talking about like movies, HBO Max, television, and the games. Like she wants there to be a connectivity between all of them, kind of similar, I guess, to what Marvel is doing. That's what she doesn't say that, but that's the only thing I have to compare it to. A franchise that has a similar setup to that, what she's describing. So she's asked about, the Snyder Cut came out because of a fan campaign online. Do you feel like you need to strike a balance between being responsive to fans and charting your own course as a company? How responsive should DC be? We're always going to listen to our fans, but we are really? Okay. I know she wasn't in charge with what happened with Justice League in 2017, but still. We are in service of the broadest fan base, and we owe them an integrated, holistic strategy. We are the shepherds of the franchise, and hopefully when the fans see what we've got in store, they'll know that DC is in good hands across many different platforms with many different creators. We want different voices in the mix. For certain fans that want singular voices, they may be disappointed, but we would ask them to be patient and see what we've got in store, because perhaps the newer voices in the mix will tell just as compelling stories to tell, have just as compelling stories to tell. On balance, you of course want to listen to your fans, but we do want to stay true to our vision and our mission for DC and build that out. How ironic. How ironic. Singular voices. I'm taking that as referring to what Snyder has started. And, the fans that want the singular voice That's us, the Snyder fans, right? Singular. They want different voices in the mix. We want stuff like Marvel. That's how I take that. His stuff is too singular. I don't understand how they have not seen, how they have not realized, especially now that the movie is out and they're getting so much feedback. Um, all of this positive feedback and awe at what Zack has done with this movie is not just from Zack Snyder fans. And I mean, it doesn't take an expert to realize that. All you have to do is go look on social media or anywhere where there are reviews or feedback for the movie, and you will see that it's not just Zack Snyder fans. It's so many people outside of that group that are enjoying this and are like, even like people that are casual moviegoers, like people sharing that they have watched it with family members or their, you know, their spouse, or people that are not as ingrained in this world as we are. They were like, they're like, wow, this is incredible. Like, what happens next? You know, it's not just us. And I think that they realize that. I think they know that, because there's no way to really not know that by now. But they are just kind of like choosing to ignore that. Like she said, we are in service of the broadest fan base, and we owe them an integrated, holistic strategy. They have the weirdest business model I've ever seen in my life. Then she goes on to talk about how they have weekly meetings with their executives in every division, and they want, again, just kind of continuing her comments about how they want things to feel more connected, like through movies and series. For example, opposite the Suicide Squad, we're spinning out Peacemaker with James Gunn and John Cena, passionately developing that for HBO Max. It's my job to make sure we super serve our fans across all demos and all fan bases. I will never understand why our first HBO Max series that's connected to one of the movies, one of the DC movies, is Peacemaker. That's really? Before we even get a movie, before we even get a trailer for that movie, like by the time the movie comes out, the series is gonna be like ready to go. Like they've been filming it. I mean, it's gonna be like ready to release when the movie. I mean, I'm not saying that they said that, but it's like, you know, since they've been filming it already, by the time the movie comes out, I'm sure the series won't fall far behind. Of course, every article that talks about the Snyder Cut or the Snyder Cut fan base brings up the toxic side to the fan base. And she just says that they're not tolerating any of that. It's, you know, it's unacceptable for any franchise or any business, that she's disappointed in the fans who have turned to threats and things of that matter. That they want them to speak up, but not to be, you know, going that route. Okay, so now the interviewer brings up that the campaign started with release the Snyder Cut. Now it's restore the Snyderverse. What's her reaction? I appreciate that they love Zack's work, and we're very thankful for his many contributions to DC. We're just so happy that he could bring his cut of the Justice League to life, because that wasn't in the plan until about a year ago. With that comes the completion of his trilogy. We're very happy we've done this, but we're very excited about the plans we have for all the multidimensional DC characters that are being developed right now. The completion of his trilogy. Why? Why can't they have spin-offs from Zack Snyder's Justice League, just like they're doing with other movies in DC, just like they're doing with Suicide Squad and Peacemaker? Why can't they do that for him too? Why can't they have both? Like she said, if they want to reach a broader fan base, fine. Fine, go ahead. But like, why don't you also serve this huge portion of your fan base as well? I don't get that. When asked if there'll be, say, more director's cuts, such as David Ayer's Suicide Squad, she says, we won't be developing David Ayer's cut. So, I don't know. They go on to talk about an emphasis on creating opportunities for diverse creators and characters, such as, like, you know, the Latino Blue Beetle movie, Sasha Kaya becoming the first Latina actress to play Supergirl, the Superman movie that they are supposedly writing. She says it's super important to her. Like, that's what she really, you know, she wants to branch out and let creators interpret parts of the universe in unique and special ways. Thought Zack kind of did that, but whatever. They're excited about, you know, Ta-Nehisi, I don't know how to say his name, so I apologize, working on Superman. They can't wait to see what he comes up with. You know, Andy Muschietti for The Flash, Patty Jenkins Matt Reeves just finished filming the Batman Against the Odds of COVID. We're so excited to finish that movie and have people see it because Matt's take on the Batman is different from others. Even familiar characters have lots of possibilities. Yeah, that's what Zack was doing. That's what I don't understand. Why do they talk about like these other things as if it's not what Zack is doing in his own way? I don't understand it. Like, I'm excited to see Matt Reeves' Batman movie. I am, and The Flash, but why do they have to stop what Zack is doing? Like, why can't there be both? That's my big thing. I don't understand. Especially if you want to talk about a multiverse. Don't only use it when it's convenient for you to explain why there's a different Superman or whatever. Like, why can't we have both? You talked about breaking down silos in the company. What does that mean for DC? So she talks about how creators want to have franchises that are larger than life, but oftentimes you start working with a company, that company has discrete divisions. So you either have film creators, you have a television creator, and they don't ever meet. She's saying that her role is to pull them together in a vision that can make the whole more than the sum of the parts. And that the key to that is to have a long range plan. So again, movies, TVs can take years to make, but she's saying if you plan out and bring other people into the plan, that can further accentuate the site, that can further accentuate them. So if you're not planning them out, it's having the plan and then it's having the strategy where all the various businesses work in harmony to create the plan. It seems logical, but it's very rarely done well. And that's what she wants to do. She wants to have them all connected. One of the things that I said to the group early was never let your fans see your org chart. And boy, could the fans see our org chart in 2019. They asked her how. And she was saying that we saw characters in movies had nothing to do with characters in TV. So creating that more unified vision, which is coming together with Peacemaker, spinning off of the Suicide Squad, you'll see a lot more of that going forward. You'll also see original things in businesses that don't relate, and that's okay too. But we're in charge of that decision-making about whether to connect dots or not. Zack set up a whole huge universe for them to branch off of and connect dots. Why are they acting like he didn't do that? I don't understand. That they don't want to be predictable. They want people to be able to spot Easter eggs, between movies, TV shows, etc. They talk about the Ray Fisher accusations. Of course, she says, that Walter Hamada didn't have any, was not interfering, yada, yada, yada. Continuing about Walter Hamada and, that he offered Ray a role in the Flash movie, which we know Ray's stance on that. I think we know kind of by now that Ray got his own personal apology from Walter Hamada, but he also wants the rest of the people involved with that investigation to get an apology from Walter Hamada as well. And I think people are confused by him interfering. What Ray said was that he tried to convince Ray to stop putting these things out there publicly, like with Jeff John's name attached, especially Jeff Johnson, John Berg. He don't want Ray naming them publicly and putting them in the middle of it. Obviously, Walter Hamada had nothing to do with Justice League, the movie being made. He was not there when it was being made. He was at New Line. And so, but he's talking about when he was there and the investigation was going on, he was trying to prevent Ray from furthering that narrative, his own, what he was speaking out about. And so that's how he was saying he was trying to interfere with what I was trying to put out there, not that he was legally interfering with an investigation. And I think, obviously, like I said, got his apology, but he wants the rest of the people in investigation to get that apology from Walter as well. Anne Sarnoff is asked about if there's one person calling the shots, and she says that there is a connective tissue in the middle who is Jim Lee, helping, all of the divisions to create storylines and, feel like everything's connected, but there's not just one person calling the shots, is the gist of what she says. At the end, they ask, as superheroes pop up in movies, on television, streaming shows, and games, how do you make sure there's not too much of a good thing? Couldn't that lead to oversaturation? One of the reasons I'm excited about our strategy going forward is it is multidimensional. We're not just serving the same fan base with the same creative vision. We're trying to expand it. There she goes again. That's what I'm saying. They keep going back to like, it's just one little group of people that only want Zack Snyder stuff. No, it's not. We want more of what he has to offer. What's wrong with that? And you can still expand off of what he has started. I don't understand this. Not every fan has to love every piece of what we're doing, but we're putting out more tentacles to be able to reach people with different stories on different platforms so there isn't fatigue. Again, they want a general audience, kind of like what Marvel has, and I just don't think they're going to be able to get that. It's not just the same cadence. We're going to mix things up. The shade. We'll have a slate of DC movies, but it will be richer and more multidimensional with a broader array of characters. That will help reduce the fatigue because you'll see a whole story about the Flash. You'll see sequels like Aquaman 2 or New Takes on Superman or Shazam, which plays to a family audience. There would be fatigue if we stayed on a more singular path, but because we're broadening, we'll have much more potential to grow the franchise across various demos and various types of fans. Again, I think she's trying to say without saying that they don't only want to serve the Zack Snyder fan base, which obviously has grown so much beyond is what I'm saying, just the people who started this campaign. It's grown beyond that. And I just think they're choosing to ignore it. Like I was saying earlier, they have the weirdest business model that I've ever seen. Like any other business, say a clothing line, and they notice, oh well, this collection or this product, this item is like constantly being sold out. There's a lot of demand for it. It's getting a lot of attention. It's getting a lot of buzz and reviews and positivity. But our other products and our other collections over here, they do pretty decent. But this collection right here is like, it gets the most attention and it has the highest demand. But instead of restocking that collection and instead of expanding on it, we're going to discontinue that collection and we're going to pay more attention to the ones over here that just do decent. And, we'll maybe get like a one-time customer here, maybe a return customer over here, but, not as much as this collection that we're discontinuing that gets most of our attention, most of our buzz, gives us most business compared to, gives us a large majority of our business compared to these other ones over here that just do decent. What business would follow a model like that? That's pretty much what WB is doing. I don't understand that at all. That makes no sense to me. My big thing is just why can't we have both? Why can't we have both? That's my biggest thing. Right now, my only faith is in AT&T, not WB, because I feel like AT&T is the only reason in HBO Max why we were able to get Zack Snyder's Justice League in its entirety. Of course, Zack has been talking a lot about, spoiler alert, he's been talking a lot about, that he originally wanted to have the end with Martian Manhunter. That was supposed to be a Green Lantern, Jon Stewart. Film studio was like, absolutely not. So, he was able to do Martian Manhunter on that scene instead. But he said he did film it. He did shoot it, even though they told him not. Zack said they didn't want him to shoot any additional footage at all for the Snyder Cut, but he did anyway. And of course, we got the nightmare scene with Batman and Joker and everyone else there. But that, the Green Lantern scene was a huge thing between him and the studio. And we've got Martian Manhunter, which I'm happy about, but it's just like, I just don't understand. Like, they want to say, oh, we want to have this stuff that's richer and multidimensional and blah, 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 blah. There's going to be a multiverse. Well, why can't part of that be Zack's? Why can't he have his own part? I don't get that. And you're telling me that it's going to be more rich. Why? Because you're connecting stuff across TV shows and movies. That doesn't make it more rich. Zack Snyder has some of the richest, deepest stories and characters ever, especially that we've ever had as in DC movies. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I'm not encouraging people to be toxic or anything like that. I just am very confused. And like I said, my faith will only lie with AT&T, not WB. But I don't mean to go on a rant, but just wanted to talk about that because it is kind of a hot topic today. among the fandom. But again, look out for, a live stream to talk spoilers on Zack Snyder's Justice League very soon, hopefully tomorrow if I can. But we will see you guys soon. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe, check out the links in the description, and we will see you guys very soon.